All right, let's go.
Beautiful day. I'm out at my daughter's farm, son-in-law and daughter's farm, and there's no snow. They are farther north than us. Look at this. 0 snow. So we're up in Black River Falls area of Wisconsin. It's got to be close to 50 degrees today. It's just beautiful. I don't even need this jacket. I should take it off and get my vitamin D. In fact, I think I might. But I'm running this little trial with my carbohydrates, adding about 100 grams of carbs per day. And this beautiful sunshine. And so a little sweet potato, little sourdough bread. My daughter is a sourdough hobbyist as well, so she had some of that around here. And I had a glucose monitor on. It tore off this morning. I was kind of playing with the grandkids, and I think it was right in that area that I found it torn off my arm. So I was only 5 days in. So my daughter, who's type 1 diabetic, she says, oh, well, write them. They'll probably send you a new one. And so I'm going to try that when I get home. I need the product information and stuff that I don't have with. But anyways, so I'm trying to lower my LDL, kind of like the Oreo cookie statin test, adding 100 grams of carbs per day. I started a week ago, basically. And my first test ended up, I think, being confounded a little bit. I had a 23-hour fast, and my LDL was actually lower. It'd been the lowest it had ever been since it went over 400, and it was at like 360, 367 or something like that. 362 something. 362, I believe. And then second round, it went up to 400. So on a 12-hour fast. So if I would have had a 12-hour fast, maybe I would have been over 400 on that first one. I'm just going to kind of assume that. My third test now, I dropped it all the way to 357. So I took from 400 to 357, 43 points. And so now on Monday, I'm taking another test, and we'll see where I fall there. I anticipate I'm going to continue on a sharp downward trend. And Thursday is going to be my last test. That's going to be the end of my little 14-day trial. And we'll see, what I can reduce in 10-day period of time. Now, I think I had some confounders. I didn't do this perfectly. So I've got my cardiologist appointment on April 5th. So I could do one of these tests each month. I'll probably take a blood test now at the end of February. And if I score, if I'm back up fully ketogenic and I score in the 400s again at the end of February, I'll probably run another 10-day trial or 14-day trial and see what I can do now that I've learned something on this first one and see if I can drop it again. And of course, this, as I've stated before, is, in case I have to get another test for life insurance or something. And I want to be able to pass that physical, because the LDL will be a deal breaker. And so anyhow, and then I'll have, a final test I got to take before my cardiologist appointment, and she's got an order already in at LabCorp. So every time I go in, I got to tell them, don't fulfill that order. That order doesn't get fulfilled until the week prior to the appointment. So I'll go in, and that'll be again like full ketogenic test, and I'll try to give her the high cholesterol. Maybe I'll go hardcore and I'll exercise on a fast, and see if I can't really spike it just for effect. But at least to generate the conversation, and I'll have all this data of the up and down. They don't see these tests that I'm doing. They're my private information. They're not even in my health record unless I forward them and put them in there. So, the last test they have on record is a 424. So, I'll probably give them one similar to that, and just see if I imagine I don't have much time with this specialist. They probably on a 10 to 15 minute schedule, if I get that. So it's not like I'm going to have time for a big long debate. I'm going to ask a few pointed questions, to try to get, where she's thinking. Something I want to know is, what she thinks of the LDL. I'm sure I'll find that out right away. Another question I have is what 5 factors do you look at in my record? Because LDL isn't the only one. So what 5 factors would you look at for cardiovascular risk? And, and how do I stand on all those? And, since my blood pressure is like 117/74 with sometimes a 64 pulse, that's pretty stellar. So, you're not going to get that. That's one in my favor. My HDL, in her opinion, is going to be too high because it's well over 100. I've been as high as 131 on my HDL, and now that whole camp is kind of looking for. There's now a drug that will lower HDL, so they're trying to find a way to call that bad if it's too high. So we got to get it under 90, or whatever, because that can be a marker of inflammation. Well, I think in this lean mass hyperresponder, the lipid model would explain that is not a problem, because it's high. It's that high because it's returning. It's there for a function. Because it may have extra triglycerides to run back to the liver or whatever. And my VLDL is usually below range, and they say, that's bad. There's no remnant cholesterol. Well, there's no remnant cholesterol because I'm using all of the energy. So I'm utilizing everything as LDL. And so, anyways, but I'm not going to have time to explain all that. So I just want to ask her what five factors do you, and then how do I. So she might say, your HDL is high, that's a negative. Your LDL is high, that's a negative. Your blood pressure is good, so that's good. Triglycerides are low, maybe that's a positive for her. I mean, on the lipid panel, the triglycerides is the only one that, could be a real negative if it's like 5,000 or, something crazy high. They'd hospitalize you. But mine's going to be under 100 for sure, under 70 probably. And then what What else was I going to ask her? Oh, how long do you think, in your experience, do I have? I might ask her if she's ever seen anyone with over a 400 LDL. And, if she's ever seen anyone with, an HDL that high. And, and have those both been in the same place at the same time, along with a really low triglycerides, because that's the LMHR model. And, see if she's ever seen that. If she has never seen that, which it could be likely she has not, then I'm going to ask her, how long do you think I have before my arteries are clogged? And I don't know what that answer might be. The answer I want to hear is, I don't know. That's probably the answer that she should give, because she doesn't. I don't think anybody knows how long, because, there's people that have been in this situation for up to 5 years and they don't have atherosclerosis. So maybe I'm never going to get clogged arteries in this state. So then I'm going to ask for that'll set up the CT angiogram and try to get that and be able to see what kind of disease I might have. And, then I'll have a baseline, and I'm probably going to continue this because I feel really good. And it has restored my physical capabilities of climbing, at a high level and being very productive. And I can continue my Game of Trees content, and continue as the ageless arborist, Not that I really believe I'm not going to age, but I want to age well. Let's put it that way. And then we'll go another year. I'm not at the edge of a cliff. And we'll see where I'm at in a year. And maybe, just maybe, this whole lipid model is going to get turned on its head. And kind of I'll be a part of it. I'll be a part of it, at least in my little corner of the world. And maybe with this one cardiologist and my general practitioner, they'll have experience that many other doctors don't have. And so I'm not really interested in firing my doctor and getting into a keto camp somewhere. I kind of think there's a bigger difference to be made by staying in the main system and just being strong and focused and know why I'm doing what I'm doing and have fun doing it and learn along the way myself, because I'm still learning in my field of arboriculture. I got arboricultural books that I'm reading all the time, and I'm learning in this physical field, which is a major part of my arboricultural world. As an industrial athlete, climbing trees at age 59, my body is very, very important to me. And I want to be the best that I can be, with what God's given me. So, well, this is the Ageless Arborist and Game of Trees. Check us out on Game of Trees. We have fun. We'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. Take care.